Welcome to the episode of the Love and Reality Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valera. I am excited, very excited. Not to say everything else hasn't been excited for the last few months, but we've been covering the traders, we've been covering the trust, a game of greed. We've been covering so many things. We've got interviews up for both of those things. However, we are back with the most popular and our favorite reality TV show in the land, Love is Blind, Season 6 has arrived, and I'm so excited to break this down, folks. This is one crazy and wild ride. I can promise you that. If you're listening to this episode, I have seen the entire season, and this season has blown me away like none other. And I can promise you, this season is 1,000% better than season 5. Folks, before we jump in, if you can do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you're over on the YouTube channel. If you're over here on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to your podcast, hit that subscribe. Give me a 5-star review. I would greatly appreciate it. It gives the opportunity to get the Love and Reality podcast out to the masses. But before we dive in, one programming note for here on my podcast, folks. Over on the podcast, you will get episodes 1, 2, and 3 recapped together into one episode. On the YouTube channel, I'm going to do episodes per episode breakdown and recaps over on the YouTube broken up. But if you're looking here on the YouTube and you're looking for a compiled list of the same 3 episodes, wow, jump right over to the your podcast platforms and just click on the button. It says subscribe, Love in Reality Podcast, and you will see it. Like, subscribe, and jump in. Let's talk season 6 of Love is Blind. Obviously, we're starting off in the pods. We're talking to the cast, and everybody's getting a vibe and what they're looking for. I'll tell you what, there's an opening montage that I don't remember seeing before. But if you're listening to this and just happen to just stumble upon this and like, oh, Love is Blind is back, do not watch this. I feel like it gives away too much of what's ahead for this season. But if you guys could refresh my memory and just remind me, like, does this happen all the time? Because I don't feel like it does. If it did, maybe I just skipped it in the past. But we're in the women's quarter, and Nick and Vanessa arrived. Jan said he is looking for someone physically attracted. AD said people look at her because she wants someone on her inside. Trevor says the same thing. Kenneth is 25. Jessica is nervous when somebody's going to say whenever she lets him know she has a child. Look, I love this. I really love this because she says she wants the people to get to know her first before telling anyone. Look, you're already in an interesting experiment, right? You're in this experiment where you are meeting somebody on the other side of this wall for the first time. Like, you haven't even met each other. You're falling in love. You're getting engaged. Throwing the wrench in that you have a kid is a whole different dynamic here. But for me personally, very excited about this one. The pods are open. We see a montage of everyone kind of chatting it up. Trevor says everyone judges him on his mullet and muscles, and he thinks that he has a low-key meathead. Well, prove us otherwise there, Trevor. He matches with Chelsea, and his dog's name is Chelsea. He talks about 5 things that make him smile: dog, sunny day, butterflies, a good movie. He mentions Notebook and A Walk to Remember, and a fresh cut lawn are some of his favorite things. Look, this guy, to me, like, Trevor is a character that, going into this, I was like, man, this is going to be a guy that I feel like we're all going to be rooting for this entire season. He was a guy that I mentioned in my Meet the Cast video that I said he looked like a Best Buy salesman. And you know what? It's kind of crazy because when you're watching this, it almost comes off a little fake, but it just looks very genuine. It's just some of the most random things. He just seems like a very down-to-earth guy that really is just looking for love, and it's crazy to me. Chelsea is talking to Jimmy now. He has made it a goal to travel and wants to go to every NFL, NBA, and MLB stadium. That's really awesome. He works remote. She is an event planner and a flight attendant. Jimmy's talks dating 16 people at one time and it being wild. Yeah, I mean, duh. Jimmy chats up Jessica here with his, jokingly saying it's his wife there. I mean, hello. I mean, we're jumping out the gate early, aren't we? I mean, we're already popping in, calling people's wives. I mean, can we get a prediction already? Do we think that Jimmy's gonna, kind of bite the bullet and be the first person to get engaged to Jessica here on the first episode? I don't know. But let's see here. They are compatible because they're signs, and he compliments her voice. She said he hates it because people say she sounds like Fran Dresser. That's hilarious to me. These two are kind of just hitting it off. Um, Matthew, Matthew, Matthew. Matthew has 15 questions written down. She picked, and he to ask everybody to pick one of the questions, and they answer it. She picked 10. What she brings to the table for a relationship? She says loyalty. She asked for it in return, and he was lost. He said, talking about his feelings isn't easy. Okay. Sarah Ann says she wants to meet the love of her life, and as she's answering it, Matthew walks out the door. Sarah Ann hates this guy. Like this guy doesn't even give a chance to anybody to express themselves. Like he is gone, like just gone. And you know what's crazy? Like some aspect of this is going to be like Matthew is this big dick and douchebag, which is true in one aspect, but the other thing is he's like, I didn't like what I hear and moved on with his life. There's 16 other people to date. You know what I mean? Now he's talking to Amber. She said four, and he said a few people already answered that. Oh man, he said, and then out of nowhere he said Superman had a cold personality to start. Um, AD asked him what are you looking for, and he said I'm doing this to be a C-list celebrity, which was hilarious. He said this is awkward for him. He's from a small town of 600 people. Showing emotion is his weakness. Being in a dating position is the scariest thing possible, but he's here. Okay. He said he's going to try and win her over. He said he's seeing a therapist and gives her one-word answers. Her therapist was shocked he was doing the show. AD is from Boston, a huge city and opposite, but feels like he is a great guy. Very weird start, but I'm really liking the AD and Matthew chemistry. It's definitely one of those things that's was I don't know, it's like I get it, right? Like Matthew here early in the stages, maybe he's a little awkward, maybe he's a little weird, or maybe it's like maybe he's got to rip the band-aid off. You know what I mean? Like maybe he's got to try to figure out, all right, let me see if this is my guy, you know what I mean? Or this is my girl, or how am I vibing with this person? Like it's something that I really think that we underestimate early in this process of trying to get to know people because it can be it can be sticky, you know what I mean? Like it can be very, very sticky. But all right, so AD is now talking to Clay. He has a spunky personality. He puts on his radio voice and she kind of busts out laughing. He said he wants a cat, but she said absolutely not. What's wrong with cats? I like cats. Cats are great. She said she needs the attention. He said he'd kiss her right now. This is getting freaky right off the bat. He said he's a touchy guy and she likes that. Dion and Trevor talk about they're both number ones being Chelsea. AD is talking up Clay to the girls. Everyone is shocked by Matthew not talking in the men's pods. In the girls' pods, everyone is floored when AD says Matthew talked to her. It's hilarious. I love that dynamic here. We're cooking breakfast. We got to make sure to highlight that we're eating food in this place. This is a question I have for you guys. All right. This is an honest to God question. Why are these guys dressed in suits? I would be in comfortable sweatpants and comfortable shirts, some shoes, whatever, you know what I mean? I don't understand like why we're dressed up in suits. First off, they can't see us. I understand it's about representing yourself, but these guys don't dress in suits every day. You know what I mean? Like just dress comfortable. You know what I mean? That's all I'm gonna say about that. Johnny and Amy are mucking it up. She loves Japan and anime. Shout out Studio Ghibli. Like, love those guys. Big fans of their work. Japan is on his bucket list. They're having a little moment um, where they're bonding over some of these different things. He hasn't left the country, but she has been to Spain. He said his heart melted over her accent. He's a family guy. She brings up being close to her brother. These two are cute. I'm going to say that we're probably going to lock it in already between these two. AD and Clay are chatting it up. AD stands for Amber Desire. He said that he would cuddle with her. They start flirting with one another. These two are kind of cute, but I'm just like, we're already kind of like, what is what is going on here. All right, Matthew and AD time. He tells her he's been waiting for her all day. He's been able to come out of his shell, and it's like low-key adorable. Like Matthew is literally like I'm on cloud nine because of this guy. It really feels like he's just an awkward dude. He just started off slow, and I'm starting to dig the guy. She asked for his favorite music genre. He listens to rock and instrumental music. She said she isn't shocked. She likes hip hop and R&B, and he has rhythm. These two have like strong chemistry. I just he said one time he did a split and tore his hamstring. Her rational fear of a bird will peck her brain out. Like this, the conversations, I love this sometimes. She has a way to talk. She talks to him that she doesn't with Clay. And it's cute. Like I feel like their dynamic and their chemistry is different. Like Clay is a sweet and charmer and like that guy's guy type of thing. I slightly player-ish aspect, I believe, too. But I'm really, really, really enjoying Matthew and AD to start here. Jimmy and Jessica are eating wings together. Really adorable here. These two are enjoying their time together. They're eating hot wings together. He's losing his shit. He's going to blow his nose, and she said it's going to break them up, and he does it, and she hates it. Apparently, she said, "I blow a nose like a stressed out dad," which is hilarious. And then, of course, she says, "My husband." It was adorable. He said the first time he walked in, he had a connection immediately, and she reveals the big one. She says she has a 10-year-old daughter. She says it's most important part of her life and needed to know I needed to know that before they go any further. He says, "Why didn't we talk about that earlier?" And she said she wanted to get him to know first. He's low key freaking out. He sounds nervous, but he said it's not a deal breaker for him. He said, "I would like to hear more about it." It went better than I thought it would at first. However, my big thing is, um, yeah, I think it went better than I thought. Like watching it. I watched it back twice. She said the baby daddy was a high school sweetheart. She got pregnant her senior year. They never got married. Broke up a year after she was born. He is present, but they're not together. He said I have high feeling. And then of course he said I have feelings for her, and he said he really likes her a lot. It's definitely interesting hearing him say, it's a lot to take in, and he has to think about it to the camera. Like I just And then, of course, he just jumps right into the Chelsea situation. I do just like ready to jump ship after the daughter situation. It was hilarious. He went to college. He never went to college. He tells her she's the best flight attendant. This dude is wild. Like he literally just jumped from one person to another, like just to get that dynamic, to kind of get that weird vibe. And now what's funny is she wanted to share something with him, and she reveals that she was married already. Like Jimmy knows how to pick these people. Like he picked not look, not only did he pick the one with the baby, not only did he pick the baby mama, but he also picked the ex-wife. Like it's hilarious to me that of the two people he picked in this entire thing, like boom, you know what I mean? He stutters and said it didn't scare him, but he had bigger news dropped on him earlier, and it just gets awkward. He gets upsets the shit out of her for bringing up something else. She comes out and says the girls, she's crying. She was upset by his reaction. He picked the one that was married and the one that had the kid. Like Jimmy just doesn't realize what he did here. I love this whole entire dynamic. That entire moment here was fantastic for me. Trevor and Chelsea, she said, she's having a fun time. He said, let's change the pace up here a little bit. Have you ever told someone you loved them and didn't mean it? She said, 3 serious relationships, but didn't feel it. He said, same. I respect that. I respect him for that. Like, there's no judgment there. There's no judgment in saying anything like that. She brings up the marriage again, was married very young for 5 years. She loved being married and her partner, but she said she didn't feel like it was the true love. He said it doesn't phase him whatsoever. Bingo. That's the response you're looking for. It does not phase him whatsoever. Like, period. Trevor says he want a fairy tale life where um people that want a fairy tale life, like their wife hasn't kissed someone, is not like realistic. And that's exactly right. This is the time in their lives to have something bigger happening. She asks, are you really ready for something crazy and serious? And he said, with you. And he said, yes. And she was like absolutely floored. I'm sold on Trevor and Chelsea. Like these two are perfect dynamic to each other. I love them to death. Amy and Johnny time, he's playing the music to her. What is happening? Like low-key hilarious. Amy mentions that the pods opens the door, saying she has to open, she just has so much fun with Johnny, but then they're also kind of serious. I love that quite a bit. Um, Let's see here. Ben and Sunny are talking. Like, who the fuck are these people? Like, randomly. And then Nolan and Sarah Ann are chatting. Like, who are these people? Chest hair is taco meat. I like this is just crazy. Like, I feel like it's funny. Like, we get to see like 5 seconds of everybody this season. It's kind of weird. Mackenzie is talking it up. AD is mentioning that nobody is chatting it up in the girls' pod anymore, keeping their kind of men tight to their vest. Clay and AD have a date night together. He said he has a massive ego. No shit. Listen, I want her with Matthew. And he mentions that love is blind, but he wants to know what the physical aspect of her. He talks about the physical appearance and he has to be attracted to her. And then he leans towards like petite lips and a butt. Like he needs to know, like, regardless of the emotional connection, she's completely turned off by him wanting to know these type of things. She said it defeats the purpose of what they're trying to do, and she is not happy at all. She said, "I want somebody that I want someone to want me for the inside." Exactly. Like that's the whole. Like if it's not even called Love Is Blind anymore. It's like speed dating. Like this is all. That's all it is. Like we'll change the name. Speed dating. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand. Matthew asked AD if she was up late dating, and she said yes. He said not surprised because he's jealous. He said guys like me win more. He said I've been thinking about you all the time. He said yesterday something happened. He said he had a deep connection and compliments her immensely and felt protective of her and says it feels different. He said a large part of him is the outcome. It's with her or he's walking away alone. He said the only reason he is there is for her. Like what a change of pace. Like what a brilliant change of pace. I love Matthew, like the best ever. She is shocked. He says he feels validated. It means a lot. I've been wanting this for the moment. She said she's really happy. And he said he hasn't isn't embellishing and is being honest and said he's the greatest accomplishment is finding her. He said after the date he would want to tell his mother that he finally found her. Like I just want to cry. She is smitten as can be right now. He said he is comfortable in the silence. He said the engagement process he doesn't take lightly. He brings up her dad and his dad, and he doesn't go. He isn't thinking too much because he is dad, and just a nice little boom dark humor moment there. She's like, he brings up her dad, just like, oh, maybe I'll call your dad to ask to propose, and she's like, he isn't thinking much because he's dead. Very funny moment. She's asked how important ethnicity is to him, and he said not important at all. She said you never know when people want to be super specific, and he's like say things to him to get the way what Clay from him. Like she kind of was like nitpicking and like picking at him to try to get him to like say some of the things, the superficial things that Clay was saying, and he just wouldn't. He wouldn't bite for it. He said he would leave with her today. These two are the cutest things ever. Like I can't wait for these two to break up at the altar, rip my heart completely out. And then I literally, and I say this when I watch this, I literally take notes as I'm watching this. Okay, I take notes as I'm watching the show. Netflix, Kinetic. I was ready to throw everybody under the bus. At the end of episode 1, Amber is talking to AD, who said, he said the same fucking thing, word for fucking word, to her about the dad, about the running away with her, about all of the fucking things in the show. Fuck my life. I wanted to jump off a cliff. Just please end it. I hate it here. This broke my heart. Matthew and AD, I was locked in, throwing away the key, happily ever after. I was just elated by these people. Elated. And out of nowhere, heartbroken. Unbelievable what Netflix and Connect get away with by ripping me in half all over again. That's it for episode 1. That's a hell of a cliffhanger jumping into episode 2. Thanks, Netflix.